And hi everyone. It's great to see all the deans together in your Brady Bunch, our Brady Bunch view, and we're speaking to the students and reflecting the wonderful work that you and the faculty and the staff of your colleges have all done in this time of crisis. And you know what, we've all faced tremendous challenges in this conversion, but what in your colleges have been the hardest challenges you've faced so far? So let's start off with say you, Kurt, in the College of Natural Sciences and Math. What's been your hardest challenge to date?
Well, the hardest challenge for us has really been around the technical aspects, that it's very hard to give a lecture without a whiteboard or without something where you can talk about the equations, and PowerPoint just isn't always the same. And so figuring out ways to creatively get those taken care of has been a big struggle for the faculty. But then the other side has been the labs, that, you know, we're teaching students lab techniques, and how do you manage to get lab techniques across? But not even just the techniques, but the challenge of when you're teaching something where the students just need to have the experience of seeing this happen really on their own, and a video really isn't just enough. How do you recapture some of those experiences? And so it's really been converting the labs and converting the technical things that you can do in a classroom to the online environment.
Great, well, thanks. And I mean, I see you nodding your head, Shireen. How have you had similar issues or different ones?
Well, I would say hands down, the biggest challenge for the College of Education has been assisting our students to successfully complete their clinical practice experiences. So our candidates are out in the public schools or in mental health agencies, and with this very sudden and significant closure, it's become really hard for our candidates to complete the outstanding requirements to earn their credentials. So we've been really trying to be creative in terms of different ways in which they can clock their required hours, and really brainstorming ways in which they can demonstrate their competencies. There are some state required tests that they need to take, which pose a unique challenge for our teacher and administrator candidates. And many of the testing centers across the state have been closed as well, which again further pushes back their ability to complete their credentials fully in a timely fashion. So we're collaborating closely with our Commission on Teacher Credentialing, and faculty and staff and students are really trying to be creative in coming up with solutions.
Yeah, well, it's there's no doubt that there's a huge variety of challenges that we've all faced, and in fact, just want to commend you all for facing those and by and large overcoming them. I sort of want to have you boast a little bit, because I know that you've seen amazing efforts in your colleges as you convert from non-face to face in rapid time. I'll just ask a representative sample of you to talk about what amazing things you've seen. How about you, Margaret? What about College of the Arts?
Well, I mean, you can imagine that we have some challenges that are similar to science. There's just some subject matter that doesn't translate well into remote teaching. You know, it's hard to teach printmaking without a press, but or, you know, conduct 100 choir students over Zoom. But you know, our faculty have been incredibly inventive, and they're remarkable, and they have really moved mountains. They care so much about their students that they took this challenge on and they've made it work. And it's really just incredibly awe-inspiring. So, you know, we're doing the senior show for the students in art is usually, the Insight show is usually in the Art Museum, and of course we can't have that this year. So we're going to do an online version of the student art show, and you know, the museum has really continued their program online. They've gotten over 600 posts on their call for artworks. So you know, people are finding a way. CPAC is going to do their Shakespeare out loud over Zoom. So, you know, we're coming together.
Fantastic. So the answer to the question to be or not to be is actually to be.
Absolutely.
That's great. Yeah.
It used to be an artist. That's what it is.
Fantastic. And how about you, Tracy, in the College of Engineering? What amazing things have you seen?
I've seen wonderful efforts from all corners of the College of Engineering. I've been very impressed with staff who have transitioned to online advising and tutoring almost overnight so that our students can receive those services still. To student organizations that are continuing to meet over Zoom or other programs and are still actively looking for ways to serve fellow students in our community. There are faculty who have spent many, many hours taping lab experiments so that students can visually see the key concepts of engineering lab experiments, and faculty sending home equipment so that one member of a senior project team can assemble certain project pieces, and then the other people in the team can write up the reports and collect data. So it's been very inspiring to see all of these things.
It has indeed. And I mean, now that we all sort of, as it were, have the floor, is there something really positive or helpful or useful that you'd like to share with your students? Is there anything, say, for you, David, in our largest college, College of Liberal Arts, that you'd like your students to know?
Well, thank you, Brian. I'd really like to say to our students that, as always, your success is our #1 priority. One of the biggest challenges we faced in this college was converting 1,500 sections this spring in a short 2-week period to alternative modes. Some of our faculty were really well prepared to do this because they had taught online and hybrid, and others, let's just say, aren't really comfortable with technology beyond flip phone technology.
Like
so one
me.
of the most encouraging things is how our faculty and departments have worked together to help each other to figure out the best possible way to deliver courses in these unusual circumstances and in this short time period. To our students, we know this is hard for you. We know it's not the same as you would get in your face-to-face courses. We know that at times it's frustrating, but please keep in mind that your faculty are working very hard. And for some of them, this is a very heavy lift. So you may be having different experiences in some of your courses. You may find some are going really well, and in others, you really are struggling a bit. I encourage you to remember we're all here. We're all trying to work for your success. Our Atlas advisors are available for online appointments. And please, please, if you're struggling at all, please reach out to your instructors. They're there and they are committed to giving you the best possible learning experience we can in this stressful time.
Thanks, David, for those words of wisdom and encouragement. I'm sure our students will benefit from listening and being aware that we're doing the best we can, as we know that they're doing the best they can. And welcome Jeet, who's now on. Hello, hi Jeet. I know that Jeet, you don't have your own faculty, but certainly we know your staff have been dealing with tremendous complications with international students, both here and our students who been abroad or are still abroad. Can you just tell us a minute or so of words of wisdom to those students?
I'll be happy to. Thank you, Brian, for this. Yeah, many of our students, some 200 or so Cal State Long Beach students, were on study abroad programs this spring. And many more, thousands or so, were scheduled to go this summer on the study abroad programs. And a number of our faculty were actually assigned to be on our sites in London and Costa Rica in particular, with our own students taking full load of courses. And I realized that many of our faculty from all across the colleges at the university work so hard throughout the year and often years in establishing and developing these programs, often hosting delegations from other partner universities and themselves traveling to set up these programs. So a lot of effort go into putting a study abroad program, and so that we can offer these high impact learning practices to our students studying abroad. But all of a sudden, then in an instant, we have to cancel all of these programs that impacts so many lives. It turns upside down in terms of the living arrangement, traveling arrangements, and often for our faculty, even their kids who were with them. So we had to do that, and we commend our students, especially in these hard times, in this unprecedented time, even if their lives were turned upside down. But their passion, their commitment to study abroad and learning in a different culture, understanding these, were amazing. And that they wanted to continue, they wanted to do it, but all of them understood the magnitude of the public health issue that we were, dealing with. And we were able to bring many of them, back home safely. And many of them have continued on an online delivery. We worked with our partners. So I commend our faculty and staff who dedicated all their time and effort to make things happen for our students. And staff here in the home front worked with, students who needed quarantine, students who needed food, and other types of assistance, and online advising and mental health, assistance that we were able to provide. So it's quite impressive that how our faculty and staff and students stepped up in this unprecedented time.
It certainly is. It certainly is, Jeet, and thank you for bringing that to the forefront. There's no doubt that our students have faced an incredible variety of challenges and risen to those challenges, and that our faculty and staff have likewise done amazing jobs across the board. Anything you would like to share with your students in the College of Business, Mike?
Sure. This virus crisis that we're facing is something beyond any of our controls and something that no one asked for. But what has made me proud is the way that this college has responded to try and, again, promote student success. I know there is some concern that students feel they may not be getting the same experience that they signed up for before the crisis hit. But I can't emphasize enough that if everyone does the best that they can in every way, we will end up in a very good position by the end of this crisis. And I just hope that they can stay the course, not only help their professors, but help their fellow students do the best they can in each and every course.
I really want to commend you for addressing that very hard question, Mike, of yes, indeed, nobody has planned for this. The quality of our instruction may not be the same, but everyone is trying their level best to make it as good as it can be for everybody. And when we remember that the alternative is not to go back to the normal, but to go back to nothing at all, I think we'll see that we're 99.9% of the way there. Monica, I know that your college, along with everyone else's, has worked really hard to deliver the same kinds of experiences to your students. And what is something you'd like to share with your faculty and staff who've made that possible?
Well, my job as dean is certainly made easier by the sheer talent and commitment of our many faculty and staff who understand their critically important individual role in the success of our college and university. I guess I want to express my deep gratitude to the many faculty and staff who have and will continue to work tirelessly to support the success of our students. Thank you. We will get through this difficult time together, and we will emerge stronger.
Thanks, Monica. That's the words of inspiration that I think are our guiding light, all of our guiding light. We know we're going to get through this. We're working as hard as we can, and there's no doubt that debts of gratitude are owed to literally thousands of people on our campus and beyond. So, anyone have any closing thoughts or ideas or words of wisdom or inspiration or even warning? Margaret.
I want to remind our students that, we're artists and this is what we do. We, do a lot with a little. We invent within restrictions. We create, we improvise, and we make great work. And I want to encourage them that despite the fact that this is a very different experience than what they had expected, they're still going to come out of this with great things to show for it.
Indeed. Thanks, Margaret. And David.
I'd like to say to the faculty of the College of Liberal Arts, and I'm sure this is true of faculty across the university, we're very proud to be your deans, to be your leaders. We're very proud of the work that you have done in the last few weeks to address these really, really difficult times. We know that many of you have done this while you're managing your own health concerns. Others of you have had to do this primary responsibility for schooling your children. All of this makes your jobs even harder. But I have to say, and I'm sure I'm speaking for my fellow deans when I say this, we are all very proud of the work that you have done and the way that you've continued to support the success of our students.
Thanks, David. Well said, and indeed true from my point of view. Shireen.
I have a special comment for our class of 2020, our students who are going to be finishing up. I truly want to commend you on all of the incredible efforts that you are putting forward, and want you to realize that you truly are a special group of students who will be leaving our university. You have demonstrated an incredible level of adaptability and nimbleness. You've shown a lot of resilience and persistence, and you indeed have so much to contribute out in your chosen careers or in graduate school as you move on. And so I do want to commend you, congratulate you, and encourage you to stick with it. You're really close to finishing up with your degrees or credentials.
Thanks, Shireen. That's a wonderful words of inspiration. Mike.
Well, it's been said that we are in a war of moral consequences, in a sense. And if that's so, this university has done a great job in marching towards the end of this semester. But just like any good army, it's not just those in the front lines, it's the leaders of the army or the military, whatever. And I just want to say that the leadership of this university, President Conley, you, Provost Jersky, AVP Cormack, and all the other AVPs have worked hard to make sure that we're on a good course. So we, faculty, staff, deans, I think we can all feel we're in good hands with the leadership of this university.
Well, thanks for that vote of confidence, Mike, and know that it's mutual. Tracy?
Oh, thank you, Brian. Last night I had the opportunity to be on a Zoom meeting with about 25 COE students, and I was reminded about how difficult this time is for all of us. One student had lost a job. A couple of students had their internships placed on hold. Other students expressed frustration at trying to work from home with so many others in their households. And I was thinking about the emphasis we place on growth mindset in engineering and the idea that we have to struggle, fail, learn difficult topics. Watching this group of students show concern to each other made me think about how we might apply that growth mindset in the challenges we're facing now. and remind ourselves of the yet, right? I'm not good at studying or working in non-ideal situations yet. I'm not good at communicating clearly through email yet. I'm not as patient with others as I should be yet. So I'm very grateful for all our faculty and staff and students that are sticking in there. And I am very hopeful that coming out of this very difficult time, we will have learned more than we have expected, skills and many things that we'll be able to take with us throughout our lives.
What a fabulous sentiment, Tracy. And yes, I certainly agree that we have many things to learn. And nonetheless, if you think about the unforeseen and untold depth of this crisis, how we as a community, as an academic community, have triumphed and got through so many things, it makes me feel in awe of the talent and passion of the people with whom I'm lucky enough to work. Kurt, you have something to say too.
Yeah, I just want to say, one, I echo the statements of all of my colleagues that, I am incredibly impressed by the work we're all doing. This is a time that none of us prepared for, none of us expected. We've been asked to work, all of us, students, faculty, staff, leadership, far outside our comfort zone. And while doing it, while we're really worried about those we hold dear. So this is something that's hard, and we'll get through it. It's going to change us, but by the end of this, the pandemic will have touched all of our lives. And that's something to know. And we need to be caring for ourselves at the same time. That, in the great scheme of things, who we are is what's important, and taking care of ourselves. But remember that our strength is really in our community. It's in our care for one another, and it's really in our hearts. And I just wanted everybody to hear that.
Thank you, Kurt. It's so wonderful to hear that our scientists, our humanists are scientists, our artists are with us. We're all in this jointly together. It's really wonderful. And then not to mention, of course, that we're in this as an entire world. It's the whole global community that's struggling. My family, for example, I was saying to Ben yesterday that we have family on every continent except Antarctica who are all sheltering in place. And we know it's a global environment. On that note, Jeet, do you have something quickly to say? I know we're reaching our time, but Jeet.
Very quickly, that although travel is not in anyone's mind right now, what I want to say to all of our faculty and students who had the plans this summer and this coming year, that we certainly will be back in force. Beach is a global campus, and we're committed to that, and we'll fulfill our dream of studying abroad in the coming semesters.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jeet. On that note of positivity, I'm going to hand it over to Monica, and she'll be our last word.
Okay, that's a lot of pressure. Well, this conversation has been wonderful, because as I think about Long Beach and I think about Long Beach State as a university, I really think that every day there's a new problem, but there's a new solution, and there's a new innovation. And I think it's a testament to who we are. We have grit, we are resilient, we are innovative, and above all, we believe in our mission, and we are steadfast in our commitment to our students' success. And I'm very proud of this institution.
Thank you, Monica. I am too. I'm proud of the institution. I'm proud of you as the academic leaders of our community. I think you've done a fantastic job, and I'd like to publicly thank you. And also all the people who we are all privileged to lead, our faculty, our staff, and of course our students, who are the reason we're all here. So thank you all. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you will do. and we'll go forward to greater success in the future. So I think that's it. So have a great rest of week. We can end off with our Brady Bunch. Everyone should be very relieved that we're not going to sing.